Oh man, he's not going to be happy. Ramsay, you want to go to Atlantic Playland today? You want to go to Atlantic Playland? Yeah? Those are code words for the vet. Yeah, he's not going to be happy. So this is going to be fun. He hates this, but he's pretty out of it right now because of the heat from the wood stove. So I'm just going to have to tilt it up like this and hope that we can drop him in here. Let's see how it goes. I know, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know. All right, let's go to the VET. Hold tight, man. Hold tight. Well, I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone here. I'm on the way to the vet with Ramsay in the back. We were running, not late, but you know, there's not a whole lot of time to work with, so it's nothing major. I'm taking Ramsay for his 6-month thyroid checkup. They just want to check his levels and make sure he's good and nothing has to change there for him with his meds. So wish us luck. Hopefully it goes well. Right, Bubba? Ramsay, you back there, man? Okay, that's what I thought. I just passed on the highway. Not passed. They were coming the opposite way. But the coolest homemade truck camper I think I've ever seen. That was awesome. Listen to Ramsay back there. He's... What's that, man? Okay. I know you don't like the potholes, but we're almost there. Okay, we are done at the vet, which Ramsay's very happy about. His thyroid levels are perfect, which is really good. And but he is down 1 kilogram from his last visit about 6 months ago. I'll be monitoring his weight from home, and it kind of seems like his weight does fluctuate a little with his thyroid disease, but she said it shouldn't fluctuate that much, like a whole kilogram. At this point, we're going to play it by ear. So some good news and some different news. You know, his thyroid levels are good, but he lost weight. So, yeah. We're home, Ramsay. Are you happy? Are you happy, man? Yeah. We're home. Yeah. Okay. There you go. Straight to the food bowl. Are you stress eating, man? I know, it was an eventful day. I know, you're happy to be home. It looks nice and sunny. It is nice and sunny, but it's chillier than it looks because there's like a wind chill and whatnot. I wanted to dewinterize today, but we just don't have any like really nice mild days to do it yet. It's still, well, I'm still wearing a toque. It's pretty chilly. It's April now, and normally by April 1st I'm dewinterized, but not this year. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I at least do want to clean up the catio though and try to get rid of some of this. Well, the leaves and the spruce needles and all that that's up on here. Thing's pretty neat. Leaf jet. Yeah, I like it. It pushed around a lot of the leaves and needles, but obviously because of the mesh fencing here, you know, there's still a lot in there, so I'm gonna have to get in here with the vacuum cleaner, I'm pretty sure. Top part here has been vacuumed. Doesn't really look like it because it's just has some fur and stuff embedded in it that I just can't get out. But it's nice to get all the little needles and stuff gone, because when they're going in and out of the catio, they're dropping all their little needles all over the back of my couch. It's really weird being in the catio. It's definitely weird. I wish I was as small as them so I could play around in here. I can see the appeal though, it's kind of fun. Kinda. Well, that's definitely an improvement to how it was, I'd have to say. Yeah. Definitely gonna leave this thing out of there. They honestly don't really use that anyway. I thought they would, and I think it was very novelty for them. They used it a few times and that was it. But it being out of the way, at least, I guess will give them a little more running around room. They do use a scratching post. They don't use that. They don't crawl in there. Maybe they're just too big. I don't know. They use that scratching post. That's pretty much it. Other than that, they just like to chill out here and enjoy the breeze or whatever. So okay, so it's like freezing rain. It's literally bouncing off. Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah. We're partway through the first week of April, and if you can't tell, I'm not dewinterized yet. Usually I'm dewinterized by April 1st, not this year. I don't know what's going on with the weather, but it hasn't been lovely. No. Rainy, cold day, there's nothing else I can do. I may as well be in here tinkering around. I'm still in planning mode. I haven't progressed any further than cutting out this door, really, because A, the weather's been crap. It's been just cold, miserable, rainy, whatever. B, as far as doing anything inside, like framing, insulating, I feel like I need guidance with that. I don't want to get started doing it by myself. My dad is out of the country for an entire month, and since he has built a house, a shed, and a workshop, he definitely has more knowledge when it comes to building than I do, for sure. So that is where I'm at. A few of you have asked, you know, how the build is going. The build's kind of on hold, honestly. Before he gets back, what I want to do is get the rockers done, get all the roughs taken care of, get underneath of this thing, scrape it all down and undercoat. But I also need good weather to do that, and I have not had that yet. You might be able to see it's still pretty cold and rainy, snowy, just miserable. It hasn't been a good April so far. It is only early in the month, so we'll see how the rest goes. But yeah, kind of at a standstill. I went ahead and ordered a track for the door, which I kind of plan on having. I don't know if you can see here, it's like a 4-foot track, and I'll have it above the door like this. But the thing about that is, I kind of should have the floor done before I install that, because the bottom of the door is going to have like a little roller wheel. So I don't want to install it now and then put the floor in and bring it up a good inch or so and then just end up having to reposition it or reinstall it. So does that make sense? I have been noticing so far that there are like, I never know where to start because there are always steps that I need to do first before I do what I want to do. I don't know if I'm explaining that right. I already went ahead and purchased a roof vent, but the thing about that is before I get up there and cut a hole, because this is literally just, this right here is just a really thin piece of aluminum and it's pretty flimsy. I would love to frame this a little bit, just add some extra sturdiness to the roof so I can get up there when I'm doing like the vent and the panels and such. So I just grabbed this little piece of 1x2 and stuck it in here to make sure it was gonna fit. It's kind of weird though, like the ceiling and these kind of like bow up unless you have like 2 feet of snow on the roof and then they bow down. Ask me how I know. But anyway, this was just a scrap piece that I had lying around, and I feel like if I had a full-length piece, it would be really hard to stick in there because it actually gets, I don't know if it gets thinner here in the center or it's just because it bows, but it's definitely a tighter fit here than it was at that end. Like I said, I've never framed anything before, so I don't really know what I'm doing. I just kind of wanted to have an idea of where to start with that, but I am going to wait for my dad to get home to maybe help me with that, maybe, because yeah, unless I watch a few more videos and get a little more comfortable with it, I just don't really know what I'm doing yet. Also, I thought I was buying a window on Amazon, but it came with 2, which is cool. You have a spare. It's not a typical RV window, but I'm thinking it'll fit between these 2 ribs here quite well, and I only want one on the passenger side over here, so it's got a screen on the other side, so hopefully that'll fit in there nicely. Kind of cute, right? This is where, I think this is about where I want the window to be. I want the window to be right above the sink, so I'm not going to install it yet. I need to get my layout figured out first. And again, kind of have to wait for nicer weather outside so I can seal that all up and let the seal it dry and all of that kind of stuff. The other thing is too, I need to know like my whole layout before I can actually start cutting holes. I thought about just, you know, picking a spot where I think is going to be good on the ceiling for the roof fan. But I don't know, I don't have my solar yet. I kind of need to know the dimensions of my solar to know how I'm going to work around that middle part where the roof vent will be. So yeah, there's just a lot that I have to like plan out before I actually do it, if that makes sense at all. So what I might do, even though I know it's probably going to change a few different times, is just start taping out where I want things to be. You know, I have some measurements written down, but like I said, plans might change. My entire layout might change, but I have an idea of what I want and where I want it now. Also, a few of you were concerned about the size of the pass-through, and several people had said that, you know, I'm going to be crawling to get in and out of it. I'm going to be crawling to get in and out of it anyway because my bed is going to be on top of the pass-through door, so I'll be crawling under the bed to get in and out of it. That's just the layout that I want. Everybody's different. Some people said, well, why don't you move your bed here so you don't have to crawl? I want my bed there. That's where I want my bed. So yeah, I'd like the bed to be here. Obviously, you know, I think the width of this is 7 foot something across, but I'm not going to need that much length. So at the one end of the bed, I'm probably going to have some clothing storage. At this side, I plan to have my freshwater tank under the bed over here, and then over on this side, I might be planning to have like my batteries and electrical stuff over on this side. So that's what the deal is with this. Yes, I'm going to be crawling in and out of that because there will be a bed over top of it anyway. Hi Lee, I just had a couple questions about your solar panels. I just didn't see on the website what you had there for panels, and like I was looking for dimensions and weight and stuff like that too. Okay, perfect. All right, I might be in touch. I'm just trying to get all the dimensions sorted out for the roof, and I might be contacting you back about those panels then.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, perfect. Thanks so much.
Okay,
Bye. Cool. Just called the Solar Dude. The local Solar Dude. Those prices are pretty good. $330 for the 550 watts. $285 for the 405 watts. Okay, at least now I know some dimensions as far as solar goes, so I can figure out what I want to put on the roof, and then I can figure out, you know, where my solar's going to go, and then figure out where my roof vent can go, basically. To be honest with you, I'd rather have larger panels and have less panels than have multiple smaller panels. That's a personal preference. I know a lot of people would rather go smaller panels because if one happens to crack or break, it's just, you know, maybe you have like 8, 9, 10, 100 watt panels on your roof. If one cracks, it's just a 100 watt panel that you have to replace from your solar. If a 550 watt panel breaks, well, you've got a larger panel to replace. I'd rather have larger panels and fewer panels than a bunch of smaller ones, just because then you're dealing with all the extra mounting and wiring and such. So yeah, I'm still just gathering ideas here. I'm working in the dark here, sort of. I got the buddy heater in here because it is freaking chilly. Don't worry, lots of ventilation. But this is super eye-opening. This first line right here is going to be the width of the bed. So that's pretty crazy. That's about 50, what was it, 55 inches or something from that end. And then this right here is going to be the washroom. So that first square is going to be the size of a shower stall. And then this area here is going to be enough room for a sink and a toilet. And I'm hoping to have a sliding door. Might put a closet or something over on this side. Sorry, I know it's not the easiest to see in here. Yeah, that's the end of the bathroom. And then I've got enough space from here to basically this first black line. That's going to be the partition wall. So not sure what I'm going to do with that space quite yet. Either a small seating area or a closet. Yeah, not too sure. It's really difficult to work with plywood and all this junk in here right now, but I can't take it outside or move it anywhere because it's really coming down with rain. So kind of trying to work around that. But yeah, really eye-opening. We got 32 inches width because that's going to be like the size of the shower stall. Keep in mind there's going to be like a thin wall on either side of that too. So the shower stall right there, first square, toilet and a sink, that's going to be the bathroom. Or so I think. Who knows how many times a person will change their mind while they're doing this, right? But that's the plan. So that's at least somewhat mapped out. Now I've got to move stuff over to the other side here and try and kind of measure how much counter space I'm going to want. I definitely want more than what I have in my camper because, excuse the mess, RV life baby. But yeah, we got the stove here, the nice double sink, which I also still want in the box truck. I do have a double sink that I got for free. And this little area right here, excuse the mess, like I said, this little space is my counter space. So there's no food prep space on my little counter here. I've been working with it for the last 8 years because that's how long I've lived in this thing. Actually, my 8-year anniversary was just like a week ago or so. Yeah, been RV living for 8 years. Crazy. Anyway, you can see how I'd love to have a little more counter space than what I got here. I do want my double sink still though, because it is nice to have kind of dirty dishes in one, clean in another. I know, I will put those away. So what do we got here? We got about 44 inches to work with from the partition wall to the end of the bathroom here. could possibly be enough room for a little dinette, but then I keep thinking, might be kind of cool too to have a closet with a barn door that, you know, rolls to close over the bathroom door and, you know, rolls the other way to close over the closet door. I mean, I don't know, that's just an idea floating around up in my noggin. This is harder than it looks, trying to map out your floor plan. Got my counter space all figured out here. I want to have a sink, then counter space, then a cook stove, obviously, like one of the little propane camper style ones. This is enough space here for a fridge, 24 by 24. That's just rough measurements. And then I've got this 16-inch gap between where the partition wall is going to be and the fridge. So not really too sure what I'm gonna do there just yet. I suppose I could push it all down and then have a little bit of a gap between the bed and the countertop and have space for storage. Cross that bridge when I get there. But yeah, in between, I know you can't see, there's so much stuff in here right now, but in between where the bathroom's going to be and the countertop, there is about 3 feet of space, like 3 feet of walking space. Sorry, I know the lighting in here is horrendous. It's just one of those rainy days and I'm just using one little floodlight here, so working with what I got, kind of. I thought I had everything measured out perfectly, but I didn't, because I was going by the measurements from my camper, sort of, you know, the bathroom and all that, but since I want a stand-up shower stall, I had to change the measurements around. I had to make my bathroom longer. It's been interesting. Again, sorry for all of the things that are in the way, but like I said, I can't drag them outside right now. This does just give me an idea of the space I'm working with, though, and I know it's going to make a difference once, you know, like for example, for the washroom that's buried under stuff, once you start putting up walls, you know, this 3 feet gap is going to be a little more narrow, you know. It's not going to be exactly 3 feet. It's not even exactly 3 feet now, it's almost, I think. So yeah, fridge here, you know, stove, bit of a counter space, and a sink. Was going to put the fridge up by the bed, but I don't want to listen to the compressor all night long, so. And then we've got this space, you know, I do want a partition wall here, and depending on how thick that might be, this might not be a 16-inch space. It might be even more narrow. The tape's not exactly doing a good job of sticking either. The floor's wet and a little dirty from me walking in and out on this rainy day. Kind of fun making plans. Yeah, it's kind of fun, but kind of hard on the head too. I know that everything's probably going to change at some point, and my measurements are probably not going to be that accurate. So the local solar guy gave me the measurements on those big panels I'm thinking about getting, and they're close to the width of the roof. So they won't overhang or anything. They'll be inward just slightly, but they're close to the width of the roof. So my thought was maybe a 550 going across, and then my, what do you call that thing? Roof vent, and then another 550 on the other side. Then again, if I had 2 long panels going lengthways, brings us to about here, which means roof vent could go on the other side of this here, so about right here. Sorry about the light, and that will be close to where the stove is going to be, so that's an option. Or I could have the panels closer to this end of the roof, the back end, and then have my roof vent right about here. I mean, I don't know. There's lots of options here. I guess this is supposed to be the fun part, you know, the planning. And it kind of is, but it's also giving me a little bit of a headache on a daily basis. Yeah. With that being said, I think that's going to be it for me here. I'm really just waiting out this weather to get anywhere with this, but at least I have an idea of a possible layout. Any suggestions with regards to that, feel free to drop them down below. Yeah, I think that's going to be it for me here. I hope you're all doing well. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye. Stop raining! Stop it! I'm over it! Ah. Well, at least it's dry in here, minus the floors.